Hello and welcome. Today I'll be sharing 7 perfumes that have recently entered my collection in the last month. I'll be going through them and giving you the lowdown on which fragrances I'd actually buy with my own money. Out of the 7 perfumes I'll be sharing today, I am fortunate to have received 6 of them in PR, meaning they were sent to me for free, I didn't pay for them. And even though I might have likes, dislikes, I might love some of these fragrances, I cannot feasibly buy all of them. And I feel like a really good metric to gauge how I can recommend a fragrance is whether I'd buy this fragrance with my own money. And I like to be very cutthroat about this. So even though I might like several, if not all of the fragrances I share, I like to be very honest and tell you which is the best of the best in my opinion. Which are the fragrances that I would most likely buy if I didn't have PR, if I didn't have the opportunity to get these fragrances, which ones would I buy with my own money? If you're interested in that, then definitely do keep on watching. But if this is your first time on this channel, hello, my name is Anya. I love fragrances, clearly. I talk about them here every single weekday, Monday through Friday. I also publish additional content on TikTok and Instagram under the username ANECHKAFRAGRANCES. I have been way more active on those social media platforms than I have historically, so I am super excited to start sharing like other bits of my life. I love, food. I love fashion, so that has especially been prevalent on my Instagram. And on TikTok is where I like to publish a lot of content that is a little bit like new, fresh content that I'm trying out on for size to see what the reception is like. So if you do have accounts on those social media platforms, do consider following me there. Also, if you happen to really love fragrance history, I have this podcast called The Fragrance Report. I talk about it a lot. It's a podcast that's focused on fragrance history, but I also do other segments in it. I talk about my favorite fragrances of the week. And in this week's podcast episode, I'm excited to be sharing a special edition podcast of the 100th anniversary of a very famous Soviet fragrance called Krasnaya Moskva. This is a fragrance that had a lot of influence in the Soviet Union, and we're going to be doing a deep dive on that fragrance during this week's podcast. But if you're interested in previewing some of my other episodes, you can definitely check out the podcast on Spotify, and also I publish it on YouTube here every single Wednesday. Also, if you're interested in being a little bit more careful and judicious with your spending, if you want an effective way to track all your fragrances, then I highly recommend you download my fragrance log and expense tracker. It's available in my stand store. I don't know about you, but I have recently been drowning in samples and decants, and one of my favorite ways of really tracking them and consolidating them is by inputting them into my fragrance collection log and expense tracker, because then I'm able to essentially catalog all the different samples I have, and I know what I have and I know what I don't. So if you're interested, it's in my stand store. With that being said, I have been yapping a lot in this intro, so let's get right on into it. So like I said, most of these fragrances have been sent to me. I am really happy the way I do PR is I like to choose my fragrances. So I choose fragrances depending on what my tastes are, depending on what I know I'll like. And because of that, most of the PR I receive ends up being something that I really genuinely love wearing. So I will say all these fragrances are fragrances that I do like to varying degrees. But one thing that is super new to me that I actually got this week, and I got it in PR, and I'm so excited to have it because it is absolutely stunning, is from The Different Company. If you guys are unaware, The Different Company is a brand that's, I believe it's based in France, but they have some really great options. You guys might have already remembered me talking about Une Nuit Nomade. I love that fragrance, and I decided to see if I could get another one from them, and the one I chose was Dance of the Dawn. I had a sample of it, and it was one of those fragrances that I smelled it and I loved it. So of course I wanted the full bottle. So this fragrance really spotlights patchouli and woods, but I don't know about you, my favorite kind of patchouli is not necessarily earthy, even though I am open to trying those kinds of fragrances. And I'm sure I have iterations of that in my collection, but I can't think of it right now. I haven't had my Celsius energy drink yet today, but this is a very kind of clean, smooth, aromatic patchouli, okay? And there's also woods in this fragrance, but the scent pyramid itself goes like this. So we have notes of pink pepper and black pepper, as well as mandarin orange at the top, amid of patchouli, driftwood, incense, and iris, and then a base of vanilla. A few of my friends were over at my apartment yesterday, and sometimes whenever I'm having people over, we just like open up my fragrance collection and I tell them, okay, this is what's been added since you last came. This is what's new. We smell it. We spray things. I make decants. So we have a great time. And my very good friend, she tried this fragrance and she absolutely loves it. So I think I need to make her a decant of this. This is absolutely beautiful. So this is like a clean smelling, kind of sweet vanilla. It's like the vanilla is more like an aromatic vanilla, if I'm being totally honest. But the prominent notes here are definitely like the pink pepper. I get like, I don't like, obviously rose is not listed, but I feel like, but the prominent notes here are definitely pink pepper. I definitely get the woods. I would say that this is an aromatic kind of clean fragrance, but there is depth to it provided by that patchouli. So this is really good. I would say this is like a really nice, elegant, everyday kind of fragrance. Again, this is from the different company and it's called Dance of the Dawn. And I absolutely love the color of this juice. It's like this beautiful, like kind of dusty mauve color. It's absolutely gorgeous. In general, I'm so happy with like the different company fragrances I've tried so far. They have very many, and I feel like they're the kind of brand that's been like under the radar for a while, but social media is finally getting their hands on a lot of their fragrances, and I'm looking forward to trying more from the brand. So next up, Kors reached out and wanted to see if I was interested in trying out one of their fragrances, and the one I chose was Aan Bronze, and again, this is from Kors. Kors, if you're unaware, I think they're a Greek brand, and I think that they do primarily skincare products, and they have like a body oil that I used to use a lot back in the day. It might be a face oil though. I love that thing. But this is a really interesting one because it has notes of citrat and bergamot at the top, a heart note of freesia, burnt sugar, and frangipani, and then a base of sandalwood, vanilla, and musk. I saw someone on Fragrantica comment that this is kind of like a vacation scent, and I don't disagree. In fact, I think like, yes, like there's like a nice like slightly gourmand element to it from like that sugar, from like also, yeah, vanilla. But there is like a bit of like a breezy oceanic quality to it, at least in the sillage. That's really what I get with it. I'm still working through this. I'm still experimenting with it. Do I always go for like a kind of for like a sweet gourmand sugary fragrance? Not necessarily, but I do like this. It's a strong like for me. If you like kind of like a sugary gourmand, but you want something that's like lighter, more airy for the summertime, or if you just like are looking at those like kind of sugary scent profiles and you want something that's like more airy, more palatable, then this is really good. I kind of like pass this around to some of my friends and they all really like this one. So this is again Bronze by Kors. And also Kors in general, their pricing is super affordable as well. So I believe this like full price is like $60, I believe. So yeah, it's a really affordable brand, pretty accessible as well. So definitely check it out if you're interested. Next, let's switch it up with something I actually bought with my own money. This is something that I wanted to like have like a Parisian inspired fragrance, like a Parisian 2025 fragrance. For those of you who don't know, I actually did travel to France. It was a few weeks ago. I'm still recovering. I'm kidding. But basically, I went to France and I was in Paris for about half a day. And one of the stores that I absolutely positively 100% recommend that you visit if you are a perfume lover and you want something that's like absolutely amazing, quintessentially Parisian, go to Aritza Legrand in Paris. They have a storefront and I believe that's their only storefront. They have it in Paris, and once you walk in, you are greeted by so many really, really interesting kind of like pieces of history, right? So they really focus on perfume and beauty history, and I really love that. So when it comes to this fragrance, like this was the fragrance that I ended up choosing to be like my kind of scent memory of Paris, because I really love assigning scent memories to different trips that I go on. So I have one, like I have a different perfume for Paris that's like kind of like for like the rainy cold side of Paris. That happens to be Elizabeth and James Nirvana Rose. Like whenever I smell that, I associate that with like you know, rainy springtime in Paris, but this I wanted it to be summertime in Paris, so that's why I ended up getting this. This is kind of like a chamomile and mint fragrance, and I saw a little bit of discourse on some of my videos that I posted with this fragrance, kind of like questioning like how strong the chamomile was, and to my nose, it's actually like very like subdued. It's not overt. This is like kind of like more of like a kind of a cushiony, soft, slightly sweet herbal fragrance. If you like Gucci's Memoire de Nodeur, you will like this, but this is kind of like a more cushiony, less citrusy aromatic version of that fragrance. So this fragrance has top notes of mint, chamomile, and orange blossom amid of grass, fig leaf, clover, galbanum, and lily of the valley, and then a base of vetiver, cedar, moss, and musk. So yeah, this fragrance definitely like has some greenness to it, but there's also like a sweetness to it. It's very unique, quite frankly. I haven't really smelled anything like this before, and I definitely don't own anything like this in my collection to begin with. So this is something that absolutely went home with me, and I'm so happy to have it. It's absolutely stunning. I love the attention to detail here, and this is something that I happily have in my collection, and I look forward to getting more bottles of Aritza Legrand scents. They have a few that are, I think, only available in Paris, but I think this perfume happens to be available at Lucky Scent. So yeah, they have a lot of fragrances. Some of them are available at Lucky Scent, so if you're interested, you can definitely try this out yourself. Okay, so another fragrance that I got in PR was from Chabaud. You guys might remember me talking about this. This is Orurange Musical. I've had this for a few weeks now, and when I was in France, I actually had a chance to meet with the Chabaud team over at Grasse Perfume Week, and they are absolutely lovely. It was great to actually finally talk to them in person because I've obviously loved their fragrances for such a long time, and it was really a lovely experience. And I was talking to them specifically about Orurange Musical, and I actually have some more info on it. I have previously talked about how this fragrance reminds me of like an orange creamsicle, kind of like a Fanta type orange soda kind of scent. But I talked to the founder, and he informed me that it actually is inspired by this pastry called Calisson de Provence, and these are kind of like these soft almond paste candies with candied citrus, I think. I have never tried them. I've seen them when I've been in France, and I was actually I was at a few places in Paris that sold them, but that was before I went to Grasse. So I kind of like wish that I had a chance to like kind of actually go back and try the fragrance or try the candies out for myself, so I could see how they were inspired by those candies to create this fragrance. But the candy is definitely on my to try list. I'll put a photo on the screen so you can see what it looks like. But essentially, this fragrance, let me pull up the notes. So this is kind of like a citrusy, like a citrus focused fragrance with a lot of white florals, like neroli, I think jasmine as well. So yes, we have neroli, orange, bergamot, and star anise at the top, amid of French orange flower and Egyptian jasmine. This is so bright now, hold on. And then we also have a base of sugar, benzoin, almond, vanilla, and musk. So this is a lovely perfume if you want like almost like a vintage inspired iteration of citrus and white florals. It's quite beautiful. Again, this is Chabaud Orangerie Musical. Okay, so next up I have a new release by Snif. I'm conflicted with this because I love Snif. They're amazing, but am I going to absolutely love every single release that they come out with? No. And with this fragrance, I feel like this is Sweet Tooth, by the way. I like it objectively, right? This is a really interesting kind of like photorealistic, gummy, Swedish candy inspired scent to my knowledge, and it almost smells like a watermelon Jolly Rancher, which is quite interesting. So let me pull up the notes. We have notes of watermelon, sugar, raspberry, violet, musk, and cedarwood. So with this fragrance, I actually really love it layered with other scents. So I like to add it to fruity fragrances like Neydo's Alien Fruit, which is like super guava. I like to add this to that fragrance for like an added bit of complexity. And I really love it in that way. I wouldn't wear this on its own, and I also don't know if I'd actually buy it. I have so many other fragrances from Snif that I absolutely love. I love their aromatic fragrances. I love their take on tea with Golden Ticket. I love Wow Factor, but not every single fragrance from every brand is going to be everyone's favorite. And in this case, I think that this is just a little bit too sweet and potent for my liking. I do know that a lot of people have had some feedback about, like, for example, Snif's Hot Cakes fragrance, saying that that fragrance doesn't last that long. On me, that's not the case, but I feel like this is the kind of fragrance that's really going to last a really long time. So if you've tried Snif fragrances before and you're kind of like, okay, maybe the longevity wasn't there, just try this. I think you'll be satisfied with the longevity, or at least get a sample. They have like the little samples available for like around $20 or so. So you can use my code for an additional percent off, 10% off. But yeah, Sweet Tooth, it's lovely, but would I actually buy it realistically? No. And I'm going to tell you what I'd buy at the end of this video, even though you probably can already tell. Next up, we have Love-O-Matic by Room 1015. I have been talking about this fragrance so much. Like, I like to show my dent for the fragrances that I really love and wear and cherish, but like, look at this. Isn't this insane? I love Love-O-Matic. It's one of my favorite fragrances right now. It's absolutely fascinating how this perfume is kind of like a clean musk on the surface, but then you kind of like smell it a little bit more, and you get this kind of you get this bazooka bubblegum, you get this strawberry that's always so interesting as well. This is a beautiful fragrance, and I've been wearing this all summer. Like, this is the perfect, like, kind of clean girl musk aesthetic with a bit of variety, with a little bit of diversity. So if that sounds good to you, definitely try Love-O-Matic. I've been talking about it so much, and I know that a few of you have bought like samples and bottles of it and also have really positive feedback. So in general, Room 1015, they're an interesting brand because the way they do their fragrances, in my mind, is very thoughtful. They have a lot of fragrances that focus on like fun notes like watermelon in Wave Child. Jasmine Freak obviously plays with like mango, ginger, and jasmine. And this fragrance now plays with like a clean laundry musk with bazooka bubblegum and strawberry. And I feel like in the past, whenever I smelled a strawberry fragrance, like strawberry and bazooka bubblegum, you would think that that's like a super intense gourmand, but this isn't. It's light, airy, refreshing. It's beautiful. So total note pyramid total scent pyramid, I guess, is strawberry, blackcurrant, and lemon at the top, a mid of ozonic notes and bubblegum, and then a base of musk, ambrette, and cedar. So like I said, this fragrance has a lot going on. It's absolutely beautiful. It's so beautiful. Absolute love for me. So at the conclusion of this video, we're going to talk about the fragrances I'd actually buy. I'm sure you can tell, I would definitely buy this. Like, it would be no question. In general, Room 1015, they have like a pretty good, like, affordable pricing structure. So their fragrances full price at this size, I think, are around 150 euros. So that's not bad for a fragrance of this size, which is 3.4 milliliters. And then obviously they have like some options for if you want to get a smaller size, they have like more affordable options as well. So Room 1015, I don't have a code with them yet. I really do want one. I'm trying to get it set up. So when I have a code, you can use it. It's Anya 10, or even if you're watching this video later on, just try to type in Anya 10. If I have a code active, it'll apply to your cart. But there are a bunch of other creators that have their codes as well, so I guess you can use those, but I kind of want my code. But anyway, sorry, creator speak. Yeah. Room 1015's Love-O-Matic, essential right now for me. I absolutely love it. And then the second place, because I was like, okay, let's be generous, okay? Dance of the Dawn by The Different Company. I really like it a lot. It's beautiful. It's so good. This is the kind of fragrance that's like elegant. It smells very beautiful, very kind of, yeah, elegant. Elegant patchouli woods. I feel like a clean smelling patchouli oftentimes is like one of the most elegant scent profiles you can get, and I love it. So yeah, Room 1015's Dance of the Dawn. This is beautiful, but of course my absolute favorite in this entire video from a PR perspective is Love-O-Matic, but I'm also really excited about adding Déjà Le Printemps from Orurange Musical into my collection. I'm so happy to have it. It's stunning. So anyway, those are all the fragrances I have in this video to share with you. Thank you for watching till the end. I hope you found this useful, and I'll see you next time. Bye.